But 30 minutes before the ceremony was set to start, Marcus, tall, gentle-eyed, wearing a perfectly tailored midnight blue tux, stood at the entrance waiting for the one person who raised him. The doors opened, and in walked Mama Grace, 92 years young, moving slow but proud, her silver hair twisted into an elegant crown, wearing the most beautiful royal purple gown with her late husband's World War II medals pinned right over her heart. In her arms, she carried a wicker basket covered with a checker cloth. 12 pans of her famous peach cobbler, baked over 3 straight days with nothing but love and arthritis-swollen hands. She had insisted on bringing something homemade, so the marriage starts sweet. The second Mama Grace crossed the threshold. Emily's mother, Victoria Harrington, locked eyes on her like she was an uninvited delivery driver. Victoria, dripping in diamonds, champagne glass already in hand, leaned to her sister and whispered loud enough for 3 people to hear. Who let the help in early? The catering staff has a separate entrance. Mama Grace heard it. She still smiled that soft, unbreakable smile and kept walking. She introduced herself in that warm Georgia drawl. "Good evening, sugar. I'm Marcus's grandmother, Grace Thompson. I brought a little something for the dessert table." She lifted the cloth just enough for the smell of warm peaches and cinnamon to float out. That Victoria's smile didn't reach her eyes. How quaint. Then, right in front of Mama Grace, she waved over the wedding planner. "Darling, could you please show Miss Thompson where the staff table is? We don't want her getting lost among the guests." The wedding planner froze. Mama Grace simply patted the woman's hand and said, "No trouble at all, baby. I know my way." And she walked toward the ballroom like she owned the ground beneath her feet. Fast forward to the seating chart. The head table was set for 12: bride, groom, parents, maid of honor, best man, and both grandmothers. Mama Grace's name card was in gold calligraphy, right next to Marcus. Except when everyone sat down for dinner, her card was gone. In its place, a blank ivory rectangle. Mama Grace had been quietly moved to table 19, the furthest table from the dance floor, right beside the swinging kitchen doors where waiters kept bumping her chair. Marcus noticed immediately. He stormed over to Emily in the bridal suite, voice shaking. They moved Mama Grace to the back like she's an afterthought." "Fix it." Emily's eyes filled with tears. "If we change it now, Mom will make a scene in front of 500 people. Please, Marcus, just this once let it go. For me." He loved her so much it hurt. He swallowed every ounce of his anger and nodded. Family photos were next. The photographer called, "Groom's family, please." Marcus waved Mama Grace over. Victoria stepped in front of her like a wall. "Actually, it's just Marcus and his grandmother," she said with that fake laugh rich people use when they want to remind you of your place. The photographer, sensing the tension, took the safe route and only shot Marcus alone with his college friends. Mama Grace never stopped smiling. She found her little table in the corner, sat down with perfect posture, and started chatting with a waiter who kept apologizing for bumping her. She even slipped him $20 for being kind. Dinner began. Toast started beautiful. The best man had everyone crying happy tears. Then Victoria Harrington, 3 champagnes deep, grabbed the microphone nobody offered her. She stood up, pearls gleaming, and launched into a 5-minute speech about preserving family legacy, the importance of shared values, and marrying within the same circles. Every word dripped with code. Half the room squirmed. Mama Grace just bowed her head and folded her hands like she was in church. When Victoria finally sat down, she leaned over to the DJ and said, "Loud enough for table 18 and 19 to hear, whatever you do, no hip-hop or anything urban. We have standards tonight." Mama Grace heard that too. Marcus's fists were clenched so tight his knuckles went white. He was 1 second away from walking over and shutting the entire reception down. But he looked at Emily across the room, mascara already smudged from silent crying, and he stayed in his seat. The cake cutting came and went. The first dance happened under a ceiling of fairy lights. Everyone pretended everything was fine. Then Mama Grace quietly excused herself. She told the sweet waiter she needed a little air and would be right back for her cobbler. She slipped out the side door into the garden point 10 minutes past. 20. Marcus started looking around. He checked the ladies' room, the dessert table, the parking lot. No Mama Grace. He stepped outside, phone to his ear, calling her old flip phone that barely worked. That's when he saw her. She was sitting on a stone bench under the willow tree, clutching her chest, breathing in little shallow gasps. The basket of empty cobbler pans was overturned beside her. "Marcus, baby," she whispered when she saw him. I think it's time." He dropped to his knees in front of her. "Mama, what are you talking about? Time for what?" Her eyes, those wise, kind eyes that had seen segregation, riots, and still chose love every single day, filled with tears. "I didn't want to ruin your wedding day, sugar. Doctor gave me weeks, 8 months ago. I held on for you." Marcus couldn't breathe. The world tilted sideways. Mama Grace reached up, touched his cheek. "Call the ambulance, baby, and tell them not to rush too fast. I'm ready to go home." He screamed for help. Doors flew open. Guests poured out. Someone dialed 911. Victoria Harrington stood on the patio, shouting, "Everyone stay calm. It's probably just the heat." Like she could still control the narrative, paramedics came running with a stretcher. They loaded Mama Grace in while Marcus held her hand so tight his fingers went numb. As the ambulance doors closed, she looked up at him one last time and smiled the same smile she wore when she walked in with her cobbler. "Don't you let nobody make you feel small, Marcus. Not ever again." The siren wailed into the night, and every single person left standing in that garden knew one thing for certain. This wedding was over, and the real story was just beginning. The ambulance tore through the night, with lights flashing red and blue across Marcus's tear-streaked face. He never let go of Mama Grace's hand the entire ride. Every time the monitor beeped, his heart stopped with it. The paramedic kept saying, "Stay with us, ma'am, stay with us." But Mama Grace only had eyes for her grandson. She kept whispering the same thing over and over, so soft only he could hear, "I'm proud of you, baby. So proud." At the hospital, they rushed her straight to the ICU. Doctors pulled Marcus into the family room, the one with the terrible coffee and the fake plants. The lead doctor didn't sugarcoat it. "Mr. Thompson, your grandmother has stage 4 pancreatic cancer. It's in her liver, her lungs, everywhere. She's been refusing treatment for months. Tonight, the pain and stress, her body is shutting down. Hours, maybe a day. I'm sorry." Marcus punched the wall so hard his knuckles split open. Blood dripped on the linoleum, and he didn't even feel it. Emily ran in, still in her wedding dress, mascara rivers down her cheeks. Her parents and half the wedding party crowded behind her. Victoria opened her mouth first. "This is a private family matter." Marcus turned on her like a storm. "Private?" His voice cracked like thunder. "You made my grandmother feel like garbage all day, Victoria. You moved her table, you hid her from photos, you called her people urban. She baked for you with hands that could barely hold a spoon because of chemo pain she never told nobody about. She sent your daughter $500 she saved from her Social Security when y'all got engaged. $500 she needed for medicine. And you treated her like the help." Emily's father, Richard, looked like he'd been slapped. He tried to speak. Marcus wasn't finished. "She walked 8 miles to work when the buses went on strike in '78, so I could eat. She sat up all night teaching me math on a kitchen table with a broken leg. She buried her only child, my mama, and still got up every morning singing hymns. And today she smiled through every insult because she didn't want to ruin my wedding." Emily was on her knees now, sobbing into her gown. Victoria's face had gone ghost white, lipstick bleeding at the edges. She kept opening and closing her mouth like a fish that a nurse poked her head in. "Sir, she's asking for you. Only family in the room right now." Marcus looked straight at the Harringtons. "That's me. The rest of y'all can wait in the hallway." He walked into the ICU room, and the door closed behind him like a vault. Mama Grace looked tiny in the bed, tubes everywhere, but her eyes were bright. She managed the smallest smile. "Hey, sugar." Marcus fell into the chair and laid his head on her bed like he did when he was 7 years old and scared of thunderstorms. "I'm sorry." Mama. I should have stood up louder. I should have shoo. She put her frail hand on his curls. You stood tall your whole life. That's enough. She asked the nurse for her purse. The nurse brought the old leather bag Mama Grace had carried for 40 years. From it, she pulled a sealed envelope with Marcus's name on it in her perfect schoolteacher cursive. Give this to Mr. Lawson when the time comes. He knows what to do. Marcus knew Mr. Lawson. He was Mama Grace's lawyer, the one who handled her tiny estate. The little house and the worthless 300 acres of family land in rural Georgia nobody ever talked about. T2:17 a.m., Mama Grace's breathing changed. The monitors slowed. Marcus climbed halfway onto the bed and held her like she used to hold him. She looked up one last time. Tell Emily, peach cobbler recipes in the blue tin on the second shelf. Tell her I forgive her people. Hate too heavy to carry where I'm going. The heart monitor flatlined. Nurses rushed in. Marcus just kept holding her, rocking, whispering, I got you, Mama. I got you. They let him sit with her body until sunrise at T9 M sharp. A silver-haired black man in a sharp suit walked into the waiting room, carrying a briefcase. Mr. Lawson. He asked for Marcus and the immediate family. Victoria tried to protest. The hospital chaplain shut her down. Sir said immediate family. That's his call. Mr. Lawson didn't waste words. He opened the briefcase, took out the will dated exactly 3 months ago, and started reading in a voice that filled the entire waiting room. To my beloved grandson, Marcus Thompson, I leave my house, all personal effects, and the entirety of the 312-acre parcel known as Thompson Homestead, recently valued by the state of Georgia Department of Transportation at $14,700,000 due to the new interstate expansion. You could hear Victoria gasp, so hard she choked at MR. Lawson kept going. All proceeds from a sale of said land are to be placed immediately into the Grace Thompson Scholarship Foundation for underprivileged Black and Brown students pursuing STEM degrees. My grandson Marcus shall serve as executive director for life. Salary $150,000 per year plus benefits. Emily's father dropped into a plastic chair like someone cut his strings. Then came the part nobody was ready for. To Miss Emily Harrington, soon to be Thompson, I leave my peach cobbler recipe, my mother's Bible, and my forgiveness. I prayed for you every night, child. Walk gentle. To the Harrington family? Not one penny. Not one word. Victoria started hyperventilating. This is impossible. That land was swamp. She was a lunch lady. Mr. Lawson closed the folder, looked Victoria dead in the eyes. Mrs. Harrington, Grace Thompson turned down $14 million cash last year because she wanted the money to help children after she was gone, not before. She was richer than your whole bloodline the day she decided love was worth more than money. He handed Marcus a flash drive. Your grandmother recorded a video message 2 weeks ago. Said play it when they act foolish. Marcus plugged it into the waiting room TV. Mama Grace appeared on screen, sitting in her little kitchen, wearing her Sunday hat, smiling like sunlight. If you're watching this, I'm dancing with Jesus right now. Marcus, baby, don't you shed one tear for me. You live big. You love hard. And to anybody who ever looked down on us, the dirt y'all called worthless just paid for 100 kids to become doctors and engineers. That's what grace looks like. The video ended. Silence so thick you could feel it. Emily's father stood up, eyes red, walked straight to Marcus and said, Son, I was wrong. I sat quiet while my wife acted ugly. There's no excuse. Whatever you need for the rest of my life, you got it. Victoria tried to speak. Her own husband put a hand on her shoulder and shook his head. She crumbled into sobs that sounded real for the first time all night. 6 months later, at a small church in Atlanta, same one Mama Grace attended for 71 years. Marcus and Emily got married with 40 guests, paper lanterns, and 12 pans of peach cobbler made with the blue tin recipe. Emily wore Mama Grace's purple brooch pinned inside her dress, right over her heart. The Grace Thompson Foundation launched that same weekend. 47 full-ride scholarships awarded in the first year. Every recipient got a handwritten card. Keep going. Somebody's proud of you. Mama Grace. Victoria Harrington's country club rant about teaching people lessons, got recorded by a waiter, and went viral. She lost every committee chair she ever had. Some say she still cries when she smells peaches. Richard Harrington anonymously donated $2 million every year on Mama Grace's birthday. The foundation named the new building after her anyway. And every June 14th, Marcus stands at her grave with a plate of warm peach cobbler, eats a bite, and pours a little sweet tea on the ground. "I told you we'd be all right, Mama," he says, smiling through the tears. The sweetest revenge really is living well, and we living real good. Rest in peace, Mama Grace. Your legacy just getting started.